Pixar is well known for creating amazing movies, especially for kids. But has any one of us ever stopped and wondered whether these movies are appropriate for kids? Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be discussing 10 times Pixar got way too dark for kids. Let's dive in. Number 10. We have Wally, His Loneliness. Wally is a famous science fiction movie which was released in 2008. This movie starts off depressingly. It stars Wally, who is a trash-collecting robot in a post-apocalyptic world. Wally is completely and utterly alone with no one to give him company. The depth of his loneliness is visible in his eyes and his actions as he collects old romance movies and watches them, in hopes of finding someone. An extremely depressing and dark intro to a kid's movie, don't you think so? Number 9. We have Ratatouille, Images of Dead Rats. On the surface, this movie seems lively and comedic, and we have humans befriending rats as both of them work towards similar goals. Sounds adorable, right? Wrong. Real life doesn't work this way, and Remy's father reminds him about that. He takes him to a place where the bodies of dead rats hang on a window in an extremely gruesome manner. I don't know about you, but that image seems pretty dark and scarring to me, especially for kids who might be watching. Number 8. We have Monster Inc., The Scream Extractor. Monsters Inc. is considered a happy, cheerful film in which we have these animated monsters who go out in the world to scare humans. It's a hilarious concept, and it has made us laugh far too many times. However, the movie also has a few pretty dark scenes which might not be suitable for kids. In one of the scenes, an innocent monster, Mikey, is kidnapped and put on a torture chair which forces people to scream. This chair looks very similar to the electric chair, and the scene can be quite scarring. Should kids really be seeing scenes like this? Number 7. We have Toy Story, Sid's Torture. It seems that the Toy Story franchise has become popular for the dark and twisted scenes shown in the movie. It has been a pattern in all of their movies, and it started with the first one, which was released in 1995. The movie shows a scene in which Sid, a boy known for devilish activities, is shown torturing his toys by removing their heads and limbs. Is that something that kids should be seeing? We aren't so sure about that. The movie gets even darker when the toys decide to take revenge on Sid, and he watches in horror as all of them walk towards him like zombies. Sid becomes scarred after seeing all this, and since then becomes terrified of toys. Trauma in a kids movie? Well, Toy Story seemed to pull it off. Number 6. We have Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is another movie on this list which starts off horrifically. Kids and adults alike are forced to sit back and watch in terror as a barracuda attacks Marlin's family and eats his wife and his eggs. Talk about traumatizing. Even though the movie gets comedic later onwards, one can't help but dwell on the depressing start of the movie which causes Marlin to become an overprotective father. Should kids be exposed to depressing scenes and storylines like the one shown in this movie? What do you think? Tell us in the comments below. Number 5. We have Up, Ellie's Death. The movie starts off with a beautiful and most romantic love story between Carl and Ellie. As we both watch them grow and fall in love, we can't help but become emotionally invested. However, things get extremely dark when Ellie falls ill. We watch her grow weaker and weaker and are forced to watch with tearful eyes as Carl tries to say goodbye to his dying wife. After her death, we are once again forced to watch Carl try to cope with his grief and sadness. The emotional overload is just too much. Number 4. We have Inside Out, Bing Bong Fades Away. The movie, Inside Out, is known as an adorable film, and it personifies human emotions and turns them into characters. The characters live in the main character, Riley's head, and it's so fun to watch the way they all interact and function. Halfway into the movie, we are introduced to a new character called Bing Bong. Bing Bong is Riley's energetic, imaginary friend, and we can't help but love him. However, at the end of the movie, we are forced to watch Bing Bong fade away into nothingness as Riley forgets her imaginary friend. This scene is loaded with emotions and will probably make anyone cry. Number 3. We have Toy Story 2, Jesse's Abandonment. The second movie in the Toy Story franchise was released in November 1999. It was received immensely well, and has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is quite rare. The film also won Best Motion Picture at the Golden Globes, and overall, it is considered a great success. However, some scenes in the movie, particularly when Jessie shares her story, can be considered quite distressing. Jessie's owner abandoned her some time ago, which has made her extremely sad, distrustful of people, and has made her claustrophobic. Her traumatizing story might just be too much for kids to handle. Number 2. We have Cars 2, Torque's Torture. Cars 2 is the second installment in the popular franchise, Cars. It was released in June 2011 after the success of the first movie, Cars. Cars 2 made $562 million worldwide, and its success led to the development of Cars 3. However, critics have mixed views about the movie, especially regarding the opening scene of the movie. Rod Redline, also known as Torque, is an American agent who is tortured brutally by a group of lemon cars. The villain, Professor Z, uses an electric magnifier to boil Torque's petrol until the car blows up. Considering that this movie is supposed to be for kids, this scene is very disturbing. Number 1. We have Toy Story 3, the incinerator scene. And Toy Story has once again made it to this list. The third movie in the Toy Story franchise has to be the darkest of them all. The movie starts off with an extremely depressing plot, which involves Andy growing up and going away to college. This means that Andy no longer needs his toys, and the toys no longer have a proper home. However, things got even darker and more twisted in the incinerator scene, when the toys are at the brink of death. The toys try their best to escape, but they find no way out. And therein, that scene, we are forced to watch as the toys stare directly at a burning fire and embrace their fate, that is death. Pretty freaking dark, don't you think? And that's all we have for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next one.